is that makes him a raving fan.
So, as I was thinking about the idea of fans, I first started thinking about myself. I'm a massive fan of the Grateful Dead. I've seen 75 Grateful Dead shows, which is kind of crazy. I've been to over 700 live shows of all kinds in my life since I was age 16. And my daughter Reiko says, Daddy, I know it's crazy. I've not only am such a passionate raving fan of Harry Potter that I've read every book multiple times and I've seen the videos multiple times, but I've gone down to Orlando, Florida to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, and I've gone to London to the studios where they filmed the movies. Not only that, I wrote a 90,000 alternative ending to the Harry Potter series where Draco Malfoy is a spy for the Order of the Phoenix. So we both decided that we just have this crazy passion. Me for live music, my daughter Reiko for Harry Potter. And we started to think about where that passion was coming from. And we interviewed hundreds and hundreds of people about what they're passionate about. They're passionate about sports, both watching sports of their favorite team or participating in sports. They're interested in NASCAR auto racing. They're interested in bird watching, gardening, all kinds of different things. And the more we dug into fandom, the more we realized that you are a fan of something because of the human connections that you have with like minded people who do the same thing. And that was a really important moment when we figured that out because we recognized that it's possible to create a prescription for developing a fans with this understanding of the fact that fandom comes from a connection with other people.
In their research and through conducting interviews with countless neuroscientists, business owners, and executives, David and Reiko found there are three things that make somebody a true fan.
The first thing is that they're really eager to replicate that thing that they're a fan of. Number one. Number two, they're eager to spend time and or money doing it. And thirdly, and probably most importantly, the people who they share that fandom with are among their best friends. And so we recognize that there's a prescription for how organizations can tap into existing fandoms.
David and Reiko also found that many people are skeptical of creating a fandom in their own businesses because they just don't think it's possible.
Many people have told us over the last 5 years as we've researching this idea of building raving fans is, I can't build fans for my business. I'm in a and then fill in the blank. They say, I'm in a software business. I'm in a B2B company. I run a nonprofit. I'm a dentist. I'm a doctor. I can't build a fan base. Well, it turns out from the research we've done, any organization can build fans. We find B2B companies that have raving fans. We found doctors and dentists who have incredible fan bases.
They even found insurance companies that have built incredible fan bases.
I actually ended up speaking to the CEO of Haggerty Insurance, McKeel Haggerty, and he said, David, everyone hates my business. Everyone thinks insurance sucks. So I had to figure out how to do something different to market my business because it's a business everyone hates. And I realized that I needed to develop fans. So what McKeel Haggerty did at Haggerty Insurance was he specifically went out to develop fans, and he created an auto club. Haggerty Insurance does classic car insurance. They created an auto club with 600,000 members now. They have a YouTube channel about classic cars with 780,000 subscribers. They go to hundreds of classic car events around the country every year, and they're there giving seminars about classic cars. So what they recognized is that if they are a part of the community of people who love classic cars, who are fans of classic cars, then the rub-off factor is that people become fans of Haggerty. And in fact, they have. They're the largest growing auto insurance company in the country. They'll add 200,000 customers this year. And it's a business everybody hates that has a whole bunch of fans.
David and Reiko identified 9 steps to creating fandom, which they wrote about in their new book, Fanocracy. One of those 9 steps is to get in close physical proximity to your customers. In fact, the degree of human proximity, that is, how close you are to somebody, is tied to shared emotion. It has an enormous effect on how well we do in business, especially in this digital age when physical interactions between business owners and customers and amongst customers is an overlooked dynamic.
One of the coolest ways that you can create a fanocracy is what we call get closer than usual. And this idea comes directly from neuroscience. And we interviewed several different neuroscientists about what actually goes on in your brain when you become a fan of something. And in particular, what's happening is that when you're a fan of something, you're with like-minded people who are also fans. It's this cool idea that in your brain, the closer you get to another person, the more powerful the human emotion. That's hardwired into us. We can't help that. That is something that comes from our ancient brains. So what that means is if you're with somebody who you really enjoy being with, a really close friend, or somebody who shares the same fandom as you do, or the company that's creating the thing that you're a fan of, very positive human emotions are happening in your brain. But if you're close to people you don't trust, like in a crowded elevator or a subway car or something, there's very negative emotions that happen. And it turns out there's actually degrees of how close you get to someone that gauge this powerful human emotion about being close to people. So the furthest away is 20 feet or further, and that's called public space. And public space, humans don't really track people. We know they're there in our back of our minds, but we don't really track them. Inside of 20 feet, from about 4 feet to about 20 feet, is called social space. And in social space, our human brain, we can't help it, begins to track people. And we track people because our brain wants to know, is this person a friend, a foe, or a possible mate? And we can't help that human reaction. So that's why when you walk into a room, you begin to track the people in that room because you want to know, are they friendly? Are they potentially dangerous? And as soon as you see a friend in that room, you have a very positive human emotion. If you see someone that you sense danger of, it's a very negative emotion. This means that as an organization who wants to build fans, the more you can put people